whatever strategy you can play. You use the rulebook to your advantage. You use whatever you can do to get the edge, because that's how it is nowadays.
Yeah.
So well, recently I figured out like that's like if there's like no risk of death, I just don't think it's cool.
Yeah.
Drip and Drift.
Welcome to the Drip and Drift podcast. We got a legend in the building, so drop a thumbs up, leave a comment below. Please welcome Chris Jackson. Thanks for coming out, man.
Man, thanks for having me. It's great.
Dude, you're a very busy man, so I appreciate people that tell me, like, I'm too busy to come by. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
this is the busiest guy I've had. So
We tried for like a month now.
Yeah.
Finally just happened to be in the area, so it works out good.
Yeah, man. Awesome, dude. So what have you been doing recently, like this past week?
So this past week, we're doing a media conference up in Orlando that came from Anaheim. We went for last year for Anaheim. Now we're here in Orlando doing it. It's basically SEMA putting on a media conference, and we just get to talk to the guys that have their media needs, and we are a media outlet being a drifting. So we have our Trump series, that we have our live stream, and we have our Instagram and everything that's getting revamped and stuff like that. So whatever they find value in, anybody that we should strategically partner with, we're all about it.
So it's mainly media guys you're meeting with this time?
It's companies that have a media need.
Okay. That have a media. Got it.
So it's like Edelbrock and Holly and ACT Clutches and all the guys that want to reach out and do something.
Yeah.
So we take a half an hour meeting and we do 6 to 8 a day, and that's what we do. And, we finish at 5 and we fix the car, obviously, because the car always needs fixing. So quick stop at the car, and now we're here.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah. So we'll get into. I don't know. What was it? The E30 or E92?
E92.
The E92. All right. We'll get into that because I'm curious about both of those things. You've been drifting forever. It feels like. Yeah. So, what year were you getting into it really, and how did it all come about for you?
I want to say it was like around 2009, pre-2009, somewhere around there. I think we started doing like the county line events in 2009.
And what were you driving at that time?
That I had a KA 240, very short time, and then we moved up to a 2J 240, and that's kind of how I got like my name in the drifting scene, is being one of the first 2JZ swap 240s. And back then it was you don't put a Toyota motor Nissan on. Now everybody does it, but back then it was like, no, you don't do those kind of things. So it was one of the first, and kept drifting that. I did my pro-am days. I had my fun competing and traveling and doing all that, and then I guess that was around the time that County Line was shutting down, and like there really wasn't too much drifting going on. So that's when I transitioned over to being the organizer.
True. So even like when you first saw drifting, you knew that that's what you wanted to do.
Originally, I thought it was stupid.
Yeah. So
I was like, what are you guys doing?
How do you get from that to this?
You do it. Once you get in a car and do it or try it, then it just completely 180. And like my friends, like, guys are just wasting tires. So I was a drag racing guy.
Yeah, okay.
And then they were burning up tires and stuff. Like, just do it. And I was like, whatever. So I bought like a Silly 80, and back then it was cheap. It was like I think like a $2,500 car, and went from a single cam to a dual cam and manual swapped it. And it got stolen shortly after the first event I did, but all I had to do was clutch kick one time and hooked.
Yeah. Dang. So so County Line closed. There wasn't really anything. Any comps or anything?
Yeah, it was super. There's basically nothing in South Florida.
Yeah.
So Tim ran County Line for a long time, and basically he just didn't want to do it, so I took it over. And then after that, there was nothing once they closed down. So that's when we got into doing like the Coconut Creek Casino. We did an event there. We did Sun Life Stadium, which is now Hard Rock Stadium, and just wherever they would let us. Yeah. We were just trying to make it happen. And we had no idea what we were doing.
Was it more like at that time like fun events, or was it competitions?
So we did the King of County Line series. So that was a County Line thing. Just so happens that Sun Life Stadium was on the County Line also. So we got to keep that series going, and it was a comp. I don't think it was that serious, but I could be. Yeah, it was a fun comp. I guess it's hard to not have a comp not be too serious.
Yeah.
But back then we had 2 tracks going on at the same time. So like I always thought drifting should have 2 tracks. Just we should have a beginner track and an advanced track, or just something to give the drivers more seat time. Yeah. So we always try to incorporate every event we do with 2 tracks. Cool.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense at your U.S. Drift Circuit events now. Like the comp side. And then the other side,
why not?
At Sebring.
Yeah, you're paying for the venue anyway. You're paying for the insurance. Why not get drivers more time?
Yeah. Yeah, that's very cool.
You know, we always like for USDC, the Pro Am series, we want to produce the best driver we possibly can, and we want to, you know, show Formula Drift that like Florida's the spot to be.
Yeah.
So you know, we don't want to have a bunch of guys that don't have any practice or you know just go out there and not know what they're doing.
Right.
So it's good to give them the time and make sure they get you know the tandem practice to get out there. So
yeah, not just I'm gonna enter a comp and never even tandem before or something. Yeah,
it's scary.
That's wild. Yeah,
it's scary.
Crazy to think there. I'm sure there are people that have like.
I've driven with them and it's not fun. That's how you end up with a wrecked car. That happens. Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, dude. Crazy people out there like that.
Yeah.
So how did these events, you're starting to get more and more under your belt. Were people adverse to it? Because even back then, I feel like drifting was, even now it's not the biggest thing. So
it was super niche back then, for sure. But we had, you know, our Sun Life State or our Coconut Creek Casino event. We had like Chelsea Denolphin in it. We had Kelsey. We had Pat Gooden. We had Bill Stanger. We had Ryan Kaufman. Like we had these guys that are now old and like you know either not drifting anymore or made a name for themselves. But like everybody was local guys because we were such a small little you know niche group.
Yeah.
And it would still pull people. You know, if we knew now what we knew back then, it would be a way different, you know, story. Yeah. But you know, we pioneered it like in a way, and we thought we were doing everything right, and of course we weren't. And now we're definitely doing it way differently than we were. So it is crazy to now see like what we could have been doing.
Right.
But I mean, like that's just the evolution of it because someone had to figure it out.
Yeah. So is that what led to US Drift Circuit, or is that
just the lack of events and you know the passion for doing it just led us to. You know, me, Rich, Harrison, and Tim got together and we're like, what are we going to do? And we're like, well, Cena's got a big parking lot. Let's go talk to them. And that's still kind of the approach. Like, they got a big parking lot. Let's go talk to them. Right. You know, or, you know, they got this venue. Let's go talk to them. So, like, we still kind of work on that same method.
Yeah.
It's just easier now because we know what we're doing and we've had all this time to perfect it. And we got a great crew and, you know, great people that work for us. And, you know, we know what we're doing now. So it's not like we're just kids you know, ruining a parking lot.
Yeah. How do you as a driver and event organizer balance that? Like, do you drive your own events? Or
no. I bring them every time I bring them. Most of the time they sit there.
Yeah.
Our last event, I got a little bit of time and we're good.
Okay.
It's dependent on what staff's going on, what problems are arising.
Yeah.
You know, things can be like, you know, going crazy, you know, behind the scenes, and still drivers come up, man, this is the best event ever. Thank you guys so much. Like, from behind the scenes, we're like, oh crap, we're pouring our hair out. This isn't going right. The internet connection for the live stream's going down, and this camera's broken, and you know, there's always the drone can't fly because interference. There's always stuff going on behind the scenes. But we pull it off and do the best we can.
Yeah, it seems like you're doing a great job at it so far, man. So, well, going off US Drift Circuit, what has changed over the time to get you to where you're at now, as far as like you said, having the 2 tracks? Is it just open invitation as far as the competition? Like, how does that
so we
go through?
We run it a little differently. You know, I like seeing the beginners come up. I want to see the guys that, hey, who's first time at the drivers meeting, and you have 2 or 3 guys raise their hand. That's exactly what we need. The sport will stay around longer. It's getting more people interested, and having the 2 tracks allows that, because obviously you're afraid to do, you know, a pro-am round. You're going to go out your first pro-am round, your first time drifting.
Right.
So you have your pro-am round, and you also have something that's fun. Like our Super Skid Pad events have been doing really well, and you get so much track time just because it's a huge lot that you can start on one end and finish on the other, and you can send a car every 10 seconds.
Right.
And it gives a lot of seat time, a lot of practice, and then just even stepping on top of that, when we go to our Pro-Am series, you know, we do like a seating bracket. And even if we only have 32 drivers, they still go through the seating bracket and get that tandem practice before we go into a main competition.
Right.
So there's some tweaks we're looking at to do to get more consistent airtime, basically. But, you know, I think for the most part, we're getting, you know, we're training the driver to be the best they can to go up there and compete at a level that they want to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. How did getting the pro spec license, is that if you win US Drift Circuit, how were you able to work with Formula Drift to work that out?
I think just being around with the Jeff Jones thing, being around with that, talking to Kevin, talking to Ryan, Jim Lau back in the day. You know, like we really didn't want it for a long time. The drivers really wanted it and kind of pushed us in, like, why don't we do this here in Florida? So like I guess it's about that time we make that jump, and you know they're great to work with, and you know we kind of find out what our niche is in Florida because it's a little bit different than the rest of the world. And I have some different opinions sometimes, but we work it out, and we are, you know, a licensing series, which is, you know, just great to say that we have that attachment and, like, you know, affiliation with them.
Yeah.
Because they're the best.
Do you know how many licensing series in the United States?
Like 8 or 9, something. Not a lot.
That's not.
You know?
Yeah. So kind of like regionally.
Yeah, regionally, basically. There's like one above us is East 10. I think there's one in Canada. Mm-hmm. You know, we just try to do it better. Yeah. You know, I know like a lot of them don't do a live stream production, which is, you know, a whole nother basically event on top of it, just making that happen. But I mean, I feel like it adds value, and all these guys looking to go up, you know, they have sponsors or they're try and attract sponsors. So just to bridge the gap closer, I feel like you should have a live stream if you're a Pro-Am series. Yeah. So just put some kind of eyes on you.
For sure. It is. I mean, why not show to more people if you can.
Social media. That's why we're here right now. Like,
exactly.
This is what the world we live in now.
Like, even King of OSW has live streams. Like, I don't understand why every competition, even the Fun Day, I don't know.
It should have something. Yeah. Because it just what we do is still a niche, and it's cool. You know? Why not share it? That's how you grow and get better. So it should be shared.
And not every there are people that still, when I say, I drift cars, they still, like, don't fully connect or understand. It's when I pull up a video or something that's when, drift, drifting. Yeah.
Or I do it on every dirt road back in my, back in Kentucky where I'm from. Like, no,
or is that what they do in the intersections?
Yeah.
Is that,
we have a whole different opinion on those guys. Yeah. We fight and fight and fight. And we've gotten involved with the media and, you know, the news, you know, using stock footage of ours.
Oh, no way.
Basically, and putting it on the news. We've had drivers call us, like, why is my car on Channel 7's, you know, on a street takeover segment? And I was like, we'd call them, and, like, there's, you know, once it's there, there's nothing we can do about it, really. But, we're not the same people.
You should know the difference between a track and
we are not those people.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's, I think there's enough of us to keep the momentum of that. I just hope those types don't screw everything else up for the type of thing. You know,
they are. That's the sad part. Is they are, and they're letting the public think that we're the same group of people. Yeah. When like really, like any real drifter tells you, like, I hate those kids.
And what's sad is like a lot of them are kids, and like when I was a kid, there wasn't nothing you could tell me to do that I wasn't gonna do. So like, it's not even like I gotta argue with anyone about it, but it's just like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, me feeling like an old man. Like, damn kids.
Yeah, I mean, we used to do it, but I wouldn't do it on like 95.
Yeah.
You know, we'd go hit a warehouse and then leave. You know?
Yeah. I wouldn't, go by yourself at 4 a.m. with a buddy or two. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be what they're doing now. You know? I'm not like stopping someone from going home from work.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly, man. You know? Like old ladies pulling them out of cars and stuff.
Yeah, right? It's wild nowadays.
Yeah, sad. Damn. Well, anyways. I don't know if I had anything else about yesterday. If it comes up, I'll think about it. But as far as your shop, Jackson Performance, that just came along. Were you already building cars?
Yeah, I was building cars. You know, my first 2J240 was in the mom's driveway, and you know, doing that. And then you know, the homeowners association in the city would start getting mad. So me and a couple buddies, we got a warehouse, and slowly, you know, one finished a car and left, and another one finished a car and left, and one couldn't afford it. And I wasn't a big fan of school. So I ended up just working nonstop and, you know, doing the shop thing, and until it became, you know, what it is now. And we've moved, I don't know, 5-6 times, and we just get a little bit bigger each time. And, you know, now we're doing it to the point where I'm allowed, and the guys at the shop are working, and I can go off and, you know, do my 2-month California vacations and, you know, drifting vacations and
life of a CEO.
I do this stuff. Yeah, so it's working out good. You know, we're still, you know, we always want to progress that too, but for the meantime.
What do you see? How do you see progressing that as far as just building more more builds?
I mean, like, we're to the point where we don't advertise, we don't do anything, we're always busy. Like, it works out good, and that we're kind of picking and choosing the stuff we want to do now, so that's good. I think the online thing, we've been slacking on the online thing for a long time, and I really want to see like something happen from online, because we work with a lot of great companies, and we just don't, you know, push the online sales of it, like the easy stuff, you know, we're stuck doing the hard stuff all the time. Yeah. So, the real heavy lifting, So like, I think we really just need to transition to that more. Yeah. And, you know, on like U.S. Shift Circuit and Jack's Performance go like hand in hand. So like, you know, Jaden, when he came, we built him a car. He went and drove our series, and you know, now he's in Pro Spec. Yeah. And like that's, you know, like the package that, you know, not many people can just supply.
Yeah, that is a pretty cool package.
Yeah, so you know, it's good that we got connections, and even now to this day, you know, you see him crash in you know, an FD, and you'll see me in the background helping him out, trying to get him back on track. Because you know, we've had, I think, 6 drivers come through now from us, so you know, doing pretty good. It's good to see our guys still over there competing, especially when we all make it through seeding, and like all the USDC guys made it through seeding.
That's pretty cool.
You know, that's really cool to know.
Nice. Yeah, it's rigged. No.
Yeah.
What was, as other than the first JZ 240, what builds like keep a good memory that you've done?
Ooh.
Like maybe unique or just like your favorite?
I had a Supra in high school.
Okay.
That was a real cool car. But I mean, like the one that you're referring to is probably the E30 because that car's been around forever.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love the car to death. The car's the greatest car on earth.
Yeah. When did you get that one?
So that I actually got off of Tim. And man, I say that car had to be 10 years old now. Wow. Like easily 10 years old, I think. We've been beating the crap out of that car forever.
Yeah, 10 years for you.
Forever. And I mean, it's only on like it's on the 3rd motor, like knock on wood. She's killing it like always. No oil pressure, idle for the last 3 years now. Dang. But she just takes a beating and keeps going.
That's JZ as well?
That's M20.
That's M20.
M20.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so ancient technology. It's on like a mega squirt ECU. It's like it's a lot of crappy patchwork here and there. Just get it back on the track, and temporary fixes turn permanent.
What did you use that for comp?
I did a couple clutch kickers rounds in it. I think I did like the American Union. Like comp driving for me is not. I don't want to do comps. You know, I do it to drive just at a better level.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm not trying to go to.
Because looking at both of the cars, I was like, I feel like they both could compete.
Yeah.
But I feel like the E92 is now like
it's a monster of a car. Yeah, it's the E92 is a monster of a car, but it just doesn't. It's just not there. It's just not the fun factor's not there.
True.
It is a better level car. I'm still working on it. It's only been like, since SEMA is when we revealed that car.
Yeah.
So it's still got a lot of tweaking to do, but I think the E30 is not going anywhere, and I'm not fixing it. I just want to keep it, keep it just like Keegan out his car.
Is that so? You do. It's more worked out, so you enjoy driving that one more.
Yeah, and it's like just less care, you knock the alignment out, whatever. You drive through it, it doesn't matter as much. The body panel gets scratched. Like, you hit it on one side, and then you're like, oh crap. Then you hit on the other side. The next time, just straighten it back out. So you fix it with the wall the next lap. It's not a big deal.
Evens out.
Yeah, just straighten it out. So like it's just fun. It's like and it's got that like zombie car thing that you just can't kill it. It's like. We don't do anything to it. We don't even.
It's like not even a missile, but it is. It like kind of is like you. From what you're saying, you treat it like a missile.
We don't change the oil in it ever. We just it drinks about a quart a day.
Yeah.
So we just add a quart before we start driving it, and check make sure it has water. Other than that, we do nothing.
Just run it.
Yeah, we do nothing to it. It just keeps going.
And as far as the E92, what made you start building that then?
I just always liked an E92, I think. Yeah. And everybody's told me, it's a crap car. Don't start with an E92, go with an E36, 46. Like, everybody has those. I don't care. E92 looks good. I'm going with that.
Yeah.
So, I see now, now driving it, it's probably not the most competitive car. But I mean, for what we're doing here, I'm not trying to compete anyway. So.
And what do you have built in that?
So that's an LS, supercharged LS. It's got a 6XD sequential. It's got a winner's quick change, and I've got, some buddies in the industry that help me out, here and there to get it going. And I mean, it's a badass car. It's fun. It's a
rocket.
Put it in any gear, roast the tires any gear, any speed, doesn't matter. This is a fun car, but it's pretty, Yeah. It's a good looking car.
What did you say you have still to work out with? Like,
a little bit more suspension tuning and figure that kind of stuff out. I mean, I really think the car needs front sway bar. So I got to figure that one out.
Yeah.
But I'm just it's not a competition car. It probably could compete 100%. That'd be fine. It'd be nice to get to that point, just in case somebody would want to rent it for FD or something like that. That'd be cool. But it's still just fun. I'm not trying to go to FD anyway, so it doesn't matter. I love to leave the Fuel Fest and the other events we do and stuff like that. It's fun to go out and turn some laps and look like the cool guy, even though 90% of the time I'm in the pits, running the event. So
yeah, dude. Yeah. I see you running around like literally. Yeah, man. Is there would there be anything else that you would really want to build? Like any other, like you said, you really like.
I mean, I feel like everybody wants a C6. You know, I mean, like if a C6.
That's surprising to hear from you. I feel like.
I mean, they're just so easy. You know, like how do you not just want a C6 just to have one? Because like, I feel like you just jump in them and just a couple mods here and there, and you get yourself a pretty solid little fun car.
I was talking last time with Harlem, and he's more turbo guy, but I was saying I just like the LS reliability and like the on-off of it. And he was like, but you would swap the Z? And I was like, no, I'd probably just get a car with it already in there. Like, there's no...
Yeah, I mean, I think the C6 is like just, you know, like a want car, not a need car, you know? I mean, like, I want, you know, it changes very quickly.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to
C6,
say.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know who doesn't want a C6, like, deep down inside.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like there's some people that don't necessarily like the...
They're liars. Like, how do you not want... It's like...
They're too big.
Yeah.
Everyone has an LS.
Yeah.
They're so big.
They're so easy.
Aren't they fiberglass?
Yeah. Fiberglass and wood. Yeah.
Wood.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's a great car.
Perfect for a car. Yeah, C6 would be sick. I'm trying to think. I was saying I like the... I'm a fan of the 1 Series.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I like those little things. They seem like they're going to be...
I debated that the whole time building the E92.
Yeah.
I was like, I should have won E82.
Really?
I should have won E82. Because, like, the E30 is small, you know? It has that nice small. So, like, built the E92, I try to put all the weight in between the shock towers to make it feel like a small car.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it's a long car. I want to say it's like 107 or 109.
It looks long compared to the E30.
Yeah, it's huge. Sure. And the E30 is even, like, the E30 is longer than S chassis. Yeah. You know? But it just has that small... It doesn't look it, but it has that small car feel when you drive it.
Yeah.
So, sure. You know, I mean, 1 Series, I think that's probably where I should have went.
Yeah.
Don't think it looks as good. E92 definitely looks better.
True.
You know?
True. I'll take care of them.
You know, I purposely put chrome trim on my car. Yeah. Chrome grills. And like, why? It's not a race. I'm like, what race cars have chrome trim? Like, I want that. It's a luxury car. I want to keep it that way.
It's a drip. Yeah. Yeah, that luxury.
It's a luxury car.
Leather interiors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Full interior.
That's you know, I still got the 12 speakers, you know, surround sound.
Do you really? Oh, because some people do. I like driving with some music, unless like I really need to listen to the car. It's nice to like vibe with some music.
In that car, I don't think I hear anything.
Yeah, true.
It's so loud. It's crazy loud.
Then you would need like an actual system.
Yeah.
Which no. So you were saying crew chiefing for Jeff Jones. Is that just you've known him forever and
so the Streetwise Drift days, I was a driver and he was doing Formula Drift and I was doing the Prime stuff, and we met because I had the JZ car, he had a JZ car, and you know, we just hung out in the pits and drank some beer, and turns out I was helping him, you know, with Atlanta rounds and Orlando rounds and whatever he wants, and then it turned into me being, you know, the crew chief and just doing.
So he was kind of doing it at that time on his own?
Yeah, he'd have a buddy with him or whatever he's doing. And then, you know, we've had previous crew chiefs, you know, do stuff. And I don't know, I was just always interested in it. And it was like my thing, pretty decent at it. So, you know.
So currently you go to all the rounds with him?
All the rounds.
All the rounds. Yep, and what's a day in the life of a crew chief at an FD event?
So you wake up. Yeah, make sure the car's 100% to go every
before you even go to bed.
Oh yeah. Especially with Jeff, you don't sleep.
Yeah,
you know, like you're getting it done, and like the car is the top priority. So I'm always just getting the car ready. You know, the car's always, if there's something we can do, we do it. It's not like a question. Like if it's gonna give us any type of advantage at all in the slightest bit, we usually just, you know, bucker up and do it.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it is. So we get to a round. We usually first day, we setting up the tents, setting up the, you know, the whole entire, you know, pit area, and putting the alignment in. So we have notes from, you know, all our years and what worked, what didn't work.
For each track?
For each track, yeah. For each track. And then I always think something's changed. Like we got a different tire, we got a different coilover, we got something. Mm-hmm. But we kind of know where to be at on wheel speed. We know where to be at generally. You know, last year being on a different tire kind of threw it at us. So we changed a lot of little things and just tried to dial in. Basically, our main goal last year was tire wear. Let's try to make this tire last 2 laps. So we made a switch halfway through the year, used a different tire, did a little more suspension tweaks. You know, Jeff tells us what's going on. I mean, we could do an alignment. You know, sometimes just in that hour and a half practice, we'll do. You know, I'll change the alignment 3 times. You know, and we do it in line sometimes.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm doing it for long enough. I know how many turns on what suspension arm and what it's going to do in the all-wrong one. And you know, we'll go through practice and we'll check it. You know, when we're done. It'll be exactly where we thought, as long as we didn't get hit. And that's basically what it is. And like whatever strategy you can play, you know, you use the rulebook to your advantage. You use whatever you can do to, you know, get the edge, because that's how it is nowadays.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I remember Kevin Phillips telling me about the rule because of his deflating tires and like widening them out. He's like, yeah. He's like, I wasn't telling anybody that. You could find that out for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, they've had some rule changes from me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like what?
They've had some. So we had a problem in Atlanta.
Okay.
About like some. It said like the rule on contact was with like another vehicle or you know, a part of the track, and the part of the track was like kind of the wording that I was trying to take advantage of because you know, we deviated the tire. So we decided, you know, we had some talks and stuff, and they didn't, you know, my unofficial protest, because we couldn't protest last year, didn't really hold much weight. But then, you know, the next round, the rulebook changed. So it's you know, that's cool. There is some things that, like, you know, I think seating bracket should have points. You know, I think to go through a whole seating bracket and not get anything for it. So I think there should be some points for seating bracket. So that's something I'd like to see change this year.
Is that something you're doing in US Drift Circuit?
I think we're working on. So me and Adam, like the technical advisor, we go through simulations and we'll do it for 8 hours a day. It took us 8 hours a day just to find out how many guys we should put through the seating bracket, you know, versus how many guys show up to that round.
Yeah.
And we just run simulations for every number, basically, you know, from 18 to 52 guys show up today, just to find out how many battles that actually trickles down to on what format we're running. So we're going to do the same with points, just to make sure that it's like airtight and that it's 100% fair. Because obviously, if you're already in the main, if you're locked in the main, you should get this points anyway.
Yeah.
So we don't want to add additional points in, and plus like the archiveness. So like everybody should get 100 points a round, or be eligible for 100 points a round, so that, you know, when we look back, you know, 10 years from now, that it's just everybody had 400, you know, point season, you know, a 4-round thing. So at least, you know, you can kind of get that information, kind of see, like last year Formula Drift, you see James Dean was like 200 points over Chelsea, you know, on the season, and it was the same amount of points basically available. So it just shows you how much that guy actually just killed it. You know?
Yeah. That is interesting.
Yeah. I think it was like somewhere, I want to say it was 600 and something points, you know, for the season. You know, on an 800 point available season. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Well, is there anything that you had to do during an event that like couldn't get done as a crew chief?
We missed our fair share of 5-minute calls.
Yeah.
You know, like that's happened. You know, some of our greatest stuff is stuff that we did get happen that we didn't think would happen.
Yeah.
You know, you know, we dropped a valve in Irwindale one year, and I think that was the year we podiumed, or we got a 4th.
Sure.
You know, we were just basically, it happened to be, we had a day off. It was that, you know, in between day, and we were running around getting the head, you know, getting the valve seat pushed in and getting the new valve guide put in. We get the motor back together, and that's when we did good. So like, yeah, I mean, like sometimes you make it, sometimes you don't. That's racing, you know. There's some things that, you know, I really wish we could get done, and some 5-minute calls, and you know, we get new guys from time to time that, you know, still kind of green, don't know 100% what's going on. You know, that can kind of cost you something because everybody's got to learn. But I mean, I don't take losing well. You know, I really like to win. I really like to win. So
true.
You know, so that's I kind of get heated sometimes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. How did Jeff do this past season?
First half not so good, but the second half of the season was great. You know, we made a switch to a tire. We did really well for what we got. Next year's gonna be even crazier because we've been working with Kumo and getting the tire that's gonna do what we wanted to do.
Yeah, I've never used those Kumos.
Yeah, it's you know, basically it was just Jeff and Andy last year. So this year, you know, don't know who else is coming on board, but I mean, we've been going back and forth with their engineers and stuff, and telling them like what we think should happen, and what compounds and what molds to use, and like where to put you know, the sports, and I think we're gonna have something comparable.
Cool.
You know,
looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's cool that like they want to do something for the drifters. You know, like,
for sure. I've only met Jeff once at Orlando, but he seemed like down to earth, cool guy.
Yeah. He's a lot of fun.
He's
true. He's a fun guy. He's a big kid.
Yeah, you see, honestly, that's what it seemed like. Just like a big kid.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Cool. So you're working with the Veterans Trust.
Yeah.
You did that last year as well?
Yeah, so I've been doing Veterans Trust stuff for a while now. We started doing like the streets of Fort Lauderdale with the Human Baton and the Veterans Trust. We met up with those guys, and we're drifting Fort Lauderdale like legally.
Yeah.
You know, right?
Legally.
Yeah, legally. And it's really cool because like we're right on the beach and like you know right where you see movies being filmed and stuff, and we're drifting spots that we never thought we could. So recently, last year. Still talk with the Veterans Trust, still do all the drifting stuff. Last weekend we brought, you know, I don't know how many, probably about 15 veterans out, giving them rides in the drift cars and, you know, showing those guys a good time. But our biggest thing is we're doing Fort Liberty once again. So we're the only ones going inside of a drift, you know, an Army base and drifting.
Yeah.
And they gave us full access. They said, don't tell them no. So nobody told us no. And we had 7 locations, military escorted, everywhere we go, military police. Including the airfield, they have Apaches. They're doing donuts while I'm doing donuts underneath them, and it's just wild. It's insane. And like none of the soldiers or veterans knew, so we pulled up.
It was a complete surprise for them.
Complete surprise. Wow. So they brought us drifters in, 30 supercars, taxi garage crazy carts. The Full Send Sims brought 12 simulators, and along with every other little thing we had going on, and even the airfield, like we're drifting places that nobody even thought was possible. I'm like, it's just rewarding and it's awesome, and we get to do it again this year. So, sick. You know, now that we got ourselves know what we got into last year, let's push a little harder and do even more crazy stuff. So,
yeah, dang. Are you working with them more as a driver, or is that
as the drifting organizer?
Yeah.
So you know, the criteria is for us. So like they're the blanket. They take care of a little bit of everything. So I take care of the drifting. Full Send Sims takes care of the simulators. Taxi Garage does the crazy carts, and Deluxe Rally does the supercars.
Okay.
So we all kind of branch off. Obviously, whenever there's drifting, you know, we steal the show.
Yeah.
So basically,
it's kind of hard to outshine that.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Who doesn't want to ride a drift car?
Yeah.
Especially like the Army guys. These are all 18, 19, 20. You know. And they're having a great time, and we're giving them beer and chicken wings, and you know we're just showing them a good time, and like they're thanking us, and we're like, no, this is our way of thanking you.
Yeah,
and it's just really, really cool.
For real, man. I think more things in that way need to happen to appreciate our servicemen and women. Like,
yeah, it's crazy what they sign up for. You know, like I couldn't do it.
For real, same, man.
You know, so I think it's really cool that they're willing to even just sign up and like. They had a rule that in an hour we got to be cleaned up and done if something goes down. So we can't do anything too permanent or anything. And if they get a call, you know, you stupid drifters are out of here.
Yeah.
We get a war to go fight. So you know, it's just really crazy being around that, and like everybody there, like really cool. They let us looking at the guns. We're sitting in Apaches, and like you know, like I think next year we're gonna try to drift with the night vision goggles.
Oh, that'd be
so
sick.
we're gonna do like a pitch black drifting and just night vision. So
that would be a cool challenge.
Really cool. Yeah, right. So there's just so much cool stuff that we have access to.
Yeah,
and they don't tell us no, so we just keep doing it.
Cool, man. That is awesome, dude. Well, yeah, dude. You're making more content. You gotta record that or stream it or something. But.
Yeah, I mean, last year we were out on like NRG and Prisma, and they made us a cool video. We did our own little video. I think the NRG Prisma was better.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen either one. I'm not gonna judge.
I mean, it's just crazy. Like it's really nuts that like you know where drifting is going. You know where we came from to now. Like, when's it stop?
Yeah. See, as much as that takeover stuff is happening, like. More things like that are opening up more opportunities to drive and do something cool with our talents.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, you know, we're just drifters. These guys are like
adrenaline junkies at heart. But yeah.
Well, recently I figured out like it's like if there's like no risk of death, I just don't think it's cool.
Yeah,
like, I have to have like some risk of dying or like serious injury, or just not appealing.
That's what
to me
makes
anymore.
it badass. Yeah, that's like the definition of badass.
Yeah.
It's like, is there some risk of death? Yes. Yeah, dude. Dang.
Yeah, the closer I come to dying, I think that's just more fun for me.
Yeah, you going skydiving?
Not yet. I'm supposed to actually with the Army thing. I'm supposed to go with the Golden Knights.
Oh, cool. So, dude, they might they might do some wild shit with you.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. They flew in on our event, and you know, I think I got my way. And they actually did a video on the E30. You know,
cool.
So like everybody has their really nice drift cars. You got Connor O'Sully and Nick and the Track Cars, and they do a video on the crappy E30.
Yeah.
You know, say the 82nd Airborne, crappy E30. So that's why I don't want. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to fix it.
Yeah.
There's no point in fixing that car.
It does attract people.
Yeah. Like why is this thing?
It draws them in. Yeah. Why is this thing?
And the Veterans Trust, Fred Roger, like the the founder or the curator of what is it, the Veterans Trust.
Yeah.
He wanted to hide it and keep it out. Like the general comes out, he's like, oh, hide that thing. Like, keep that in the trailer. And then of course once it gets out of the trailer, it just attracts attention.
Yeah.
And I was no way. This is like the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it does. I mean, E30s are such a cool looking car.
Yeah.
Even without all the panels on it, but still,
they're awesome.
It's just that boxy feel,
and they just drive like they want it. It's like fun,
Yeah.
It's like not Miata fun, It's just like E30 fun. It's like almost the same, but it's not.
I don't know that. I don't know E30 fun.
Yeah,
I know Miata fun.
It's so much fun. Like it's just I don't know why it just gives you so much joy driving like the crappiest car.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah. I got. Mine's a little beat up, but it's not that crappy yet. So
you'll get there. Don't worry.
I feel that's the thing. Like when I drive to events, I kind of baby it, and when I tow it to events, I really beat on it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to after the cage this month, I'm trying to get a trailer next, and that's when I know I'm like after I get the trailer, I feel like it's gonna start to look a little more ugly, but it'll be okay.
Yeah, as long as you don't drive to work.
Yeah.
You're not driving to work. Whatever.
When the truck breaks down, but
yeah.
Even then. Yeah. How many rounds this year for US Drift Circuit?
So 4 rounds.
4 rounds.
11 events total between the Fuel Fest and the All American Week and all the fun run stuff we got going on. We're actually we're adding more of the super skid pad.
Okay.
Just because it's great and it's good success and get a lot of drive time. I think we had minimal 47 drivers or something last time, and the line was never more than 2 or 3 people long all day long. And we just turned lap, and I went through 10 tires, and I barely ever drive my event, so that's the most I've ever been through on one of my own cars. So we had a blast. So we're gonna do way more of those because it's just easier for us to run. There's not a whole production going on. And it's good fun. The layout was really good for tandem practice. It was nothing crazy. It was just basically S's.
Mm-hmm.
So it really just practice transition,
yeah.
and it was really good. Like me and Sabio had a blast. We would just turn laps and one point we high five, we still got it, we're the old guys of the game. We were still doing it. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
And then we plow each other. The next lap we plow into each other.
Dude, you say the old guys. I hope to be old as fuck still doing it. I want to be 50, 60 still. Still driving.
I don't even think that's out of the question anymore.
Yeah.
Look at FD guys.
Yeah.
They're old guys now, and
Yeah, I always saw videos in Japan. Obviously, all the young kids doing.
Well, they're old. They just look young.
Old, old dudes, still out there shredding.
I think they still look young up until they hit 60. Then they just look totally super old a year later.
Dude, there's some old looking cats that I've seen.
But it's awesome. It's a culture. It's a lifestyle. It's not going anywhere. It's great to be able to say that. Back in the day, you couldn't say that.
Yeah.
Now, it's pretty solidified.
Yeah, it is. I feel like you also, which obviously you've done a great job at it, but solidify it for yourself. Because, I say I want to be 50 or 60 still drifting, but even in the past 5 years now that I've been drifting, I've seen plenty of people get a car and stop drifting, or completely just it's too expensive or too much time or too much. So I don't know. I feel like you gotta want it yourself.
Yeah, I don't see myself stopping. I'll $1,000 in tires is okay, whatever, but a $20 T-shirt, I'm nah, I'm good. I'm definitely that person for sure.
Yeah, priorities.
Yeah. It's cool.
True. So you said 4 U.S. Drift Circuit events, 11 total, including everything.
Yeah, including everything. 4 pro-am cities.
Yeah.
4 pro-am rounds.
4 pro-am rounds.
Which one of them is going to be, I guess I might as well tell everybody now, but we're going to be doing Leadfoot City.
Okay.
So we're going to turn that into one of them, and that's going to be really, really cool.
So it'll be Sebring,
Leadfoot City. We're just wrapping things up with their OSW.
Okay.
We like going to OSW.
Not official yet, though. But
no, I don't think there's going to be a problem or anything, but, you never know.
Yeah.
But OSW is just, Formula Drift goes there. We get to run the same layout.
Yeah.
It's great practice, especially, it's weird they don't do it for Pro Spec just because there's not enough room.
Yeah.
But, when they ever do make it up in the Pro, at least that's their home track and they can
for sure.
say I got my license on that track.
True. Dang.
And it is a fun track, walls are the way to go.
Yeah.
Leadfoot's.
Have you been to did you go to their opening event?
We didn't go to the opening event. We went just, on a random day just to check it out. And then the guy's got really, really nice place.
Yeah.
It is so nice.
I heard it's pretty, like, the run-up's crazy, and then going into the
Yeah, the run-up's good. I mean, he's got a drag strip. They're building a lake. They got the burnout box, and they have, like, little bars set up here. They got little rooms set up here, and, like, it's like there's trap doors and hidden doors in places and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a car guy's fantasy. It's really, really cool.
Oh,
So,
cool.
like...
I heard, like,
venues.
previously, before it was all finished, like, not necessarily hate, but people talking trash about, like, they were supposed to do an actual layout.
Yeah, we want
and
a
they
road
didn't.
course.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wants a road course. I mean,
Yeah.
I was one of those people. I really, really, really would love to have a road course, you know? But, I mean, as of, like, 3 days ago, PBIR is back up for sale.
Oh,
So,
true.
you know, there is a road course available.
Somebody out there, go.
Yeah, someone donate somewhere, wherever it works, you know?
Yeah, dang, dude. PBIR was...
PBIR was awesome.
And the little go-kart track.
Go-kart track was, I mean, that was one of the most fun tracks I
Yeah.
think I've ever driven still.
That was cool.
It just gave me like that Apple Valley vibe. You
Yeah.
know, it was just really, really cool. It was fun. It was tight. It was technical.
That OKC, I feel like... I haven't driven OKC, but I feel like that might have a similar vibe.
Yeah.
It's, like, tight and, like...
Yeah.
For go-karts, like...
Yeah, the PBR flowed. It was
Yeah.
so good. Yeah, it was so good. You could just run trains on that all day long.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah,
And the road
they had
course-
different layouts you could do on the...
Yeah, we'd switch it up every once in a while
yeah.
because there were so many cut-ins and stuff. It was great. I don't know why like that
Yeah.
place had to go away. But you know, road course, like we haven't done like a road racing style drift event since PBIR.
Mhm.
It was so cool just sending 30 cars out on the track, like turning laps but drifting.
Yeah.
And
That
like
was scary.
it was awesome. It was so much fun.
I was riding along at that time, but like, dude, that was...
Yeah.
Those are
Especially like a
not-
beginner. You could take like turn 9, 10.
Yeah.
Easily over 100 every single time. And there was so much runoff that like you wouldn't die.
Yeah.
There wasn't even like a chance of crashing your car still.
Right.
Like it was really hard to crash on a 100-mile-an-hour entry.
Yeah.
There's so much room out there.
Yeah. Dang, dude.
Yeah, those
What
days
other
were
tracks?
awesome. Those days were so
I mean, I got to do the Firm when they did Holiday Matsuri, which was... It was cool. It was different than, I guess, how Beast Coast ran theirs. They just did like a section of it.
yeah.
But the Firm was pretty cool. I don't know if like... Well, I think Fun Day might be cool.
I wish they
don't
would
know.
just make a little bit more pavement somewhere to make something connect and be fun.
Yeah.
You know, or just widen their go-kart track. Like,
Yeah.
was, you know, that place.
Yeah, they have a little... that I've never got to drive.
20 feet wide, I think.
Oh, okay,
I
that's
measured
why.
on Google Maps.
Yeah.
It's like 20 feet wide.
True.
Yeah.
True. That's why. Yeah. All right. Dang. Well, is there anything else you want to touch on or talk about before we close?
I don't know. This has been great.
Yeah,
This has
dude.
been awesome.
It has, man. Any last question? What's your? I was gonna say, what's your least favorite car mod in the drift scene?
So okay. So this is gonna bring me somewhere. So we're talking to our old technical advisor Sam Tabaris, and I think that we're gonna do some kind of horsepower versus sound decibel level.
Okay.
Just because of some of these Z's and 5.0 Mustangs, that like if you're not making 500 horsepower, it shouldn't be over 90 decibels. You know?
Decibels.
Yeah, like it's just there's got to be a decibel to noise,
Horsepower
to horsepower. There's got to be something in writing, and like you know, if you're really loud, like you better make 800 horsepower
Yeah.
because it's gotta be justifiable. But if you're a 300 horsepower Z making all this noise doing nothing, so that's my biggest annoying thing. I
True.
can't stand, you know,
low horsepower cars that are loud
low
as
horsepower, like, and then they're not even fast enough to get out of the way. So like you hear that crap for so long
Yeah.
because like they just don't move.
Dude, it is funny. I was at OSW's class qualifier event, and Frank and the other guys at the starting line, whenever a Z, they just always plug their
Yeah.
ears
It's
because
just horrible.
they just step on
It's
it,
so
and,
bad.
blast their ears out. It is pretty funny. I always notice that, and I ease on for them, just right past them, and then
And all of you guys are like, oh, it sounds so good. No, it doesn't. Your BQ does not sound good. I promise you, it doesn't.
yeah,
It says
I wish
titanium
they
exhaust. No one cares.
Yeah.
It still sounds.
I
Like
got the ISR blast pipes. All right, Chris.
Is it really loud? No muffler.
It's got a muffler.
It's still got the resonator or whatever.
Little resonator.
Yeah, so it's probably not that bad.
It's not. And honestly, I do now that I have heard different Z's with different headers and exhaust,
Yeah.
I can tell the difference. And there are some sounds that
Yeah.
I now can't stand
Just
at all.
LS swap it, it'll sound good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's acceptable then.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, man. Well, dude, thanks for coming by,
Thank
man.
you,
It's
man.
been
It's been
great,
great.
dude. Drop a comment below, leave a thumbs up, and we'll catch you next time, fam.
Thank you.
Peace.